from the oldest city in the USA, St. Augustine tonight, with our guest from the West African drum circles, Michael Thomas, author and activist Sandra Parks, musical guest Flo.Wav, and from the St. Augustine Musical Festival, Jorge A. Peña, with your host, Jorge Olivera.
Wow. Look at this place. It's packed. It's like the first show. It's incredible. Once again, I always start the show by thanking Garrett Bros, Home Decor. Garrett is opening a store, another store, with a different vibe on 213 West King Street. It is called Uncommon Theo. It opens softly this coming Saturday. So this is the cool store. That'll be the groovy store. And so that one will have a lot of high-end things. Remember that Theo is known in the community as an interior decorator and designer. So he does amazing things. Look at this place. Walking in here is just amazing. Another person that I'd like to thank is IWS, International Wine and Spirits. You're sipping on their brew. Very nice. Bonnie Sterling was the person who made this all possible in IWS. So we thank you. Our last show is so important, and they came through. Someone else who's been amazing, she catered the first show, and now she catered this City Bistro. City Bistro on US 1 and Mission, Old Mission. If you haven't been there, everything she makes, from the coffee, and now she's serving dinners. She's a chef, and you saw that table back there. So it's incredible. She's incredible. Another thing in the news, the U.S. Post Office now is started already, from Dallas to Phoenix, driverless trucks. Trucks with no drivers, bringing mail from the Phoenix to Dallas, Dallas to Phoenix. This is the first, what you call, beta test of systems, and eventually in the future, every time you see a U.S. postal truck, there'll be no one in it. That'll be very interesting. Another breaking news in science is that now they have a test which will be available to us populacho, for us regular people eventually, is that with a tablespoon of your blood, looking for certain proteins and markers, they will know if you will have Alzheimer's or dementia, either one. Some people say, I don't want to know. I would like to know, because then I could change things in my diet. I could slow down what's coming. If I know a bullet's coming my way, I could always put myself to, maybe you could hit me in the arm instead of between the eyes. So I rather know than not know, but that's great that test is coming. Another great thing in the news is they found Clotilda. No, this is not a lost woman. This is a name of the last slave ship, 1860. Slaves, was illegal to bring slaves in 1808. The law came in the States that you couldn't bring slaves no more, but ships were still bringing them in illegally, just like drugs. They'd come in. And the Clotilda, which in 1860 was the last ship to bring that last cargo of African slaves, did what any drug dealer would do. He took the vehicle, torched it, after he moved his cargo into a steamship. And so what they found is basically the part of the ship that was in the water, that didn't burn. And they recovered that in Alabama in the river. Those people from that ship started a town called Africa Town, which is still there in Alabama, North Alabama, and they're very poor, but they're all descendants of these people on the cargo ships. So National Geographic probably will put something together. It sounds very, very interesting. And the reason they know so much about the ship is because the captain, whoever, was one of those people who wrote everything in a diary. So it's all there, where he took the ship, where he burned it, and all that kind of stuff. Mount Everest. You been watching? A traffic jam in Mount Everest, and they're dying. They're just dying. And now, also with climate change, Mount Everest for the last 10 years has been melting. And what's coming out of the snow are dead bodies, arms, legs, skeletons. It's like a horror movie. But it's Mount Everest, it has traffic jam. The photo that went viral was incredible because it fits only one person. And you see this whole line going all the way to the peak. And they're there, they can't move, and they're running out of oxygen, and they're dying. So this is crazy. Venezuela has been in the news because Silicon Valley decided to help them. And because the money is worthless, they've created these Bitcoin accounts that people through their phone can buy food. And because the Bolivar keeps crashing all the time, they can buy the money when they can. The transaction's all done on the phone, takes 10 minutes, and if they find milk, they can buy it. And I think this is great, where Silicon Valley is doing something great for people in need. And the last little piece of news is that a professor or an instructor from Oxford University in England is saying that aliens are among us, that there's more abductions than ever, and he has it all recorded. I don't know about that, but I hope there are no aliens in the audience tonight, because we have a great show. We have Michael Thomas from the West African Drum Circle. We have, I call her royalty myself, Sandra Parks. We have Jorge Peña from the Jacksonville Philharmonic. And we have Flo.Wav. I'm going to leave you with Flo.Wav right now to rock your socks.
We might be aliens. Feel free to get up if we put a little scoot in your boot, you know what I'm saying? Sunshine through your sundress. Maybe you're the only one that ain't no contest. You don't know when you're knocking through my window. I wasn't for my mom, but even though we went slow, I've been addicted to your loving from the get-go. Way before I stood at gas like the Cisco. Way before the baby shower, maybe we can put it over the sand. It's for the weekend. No worries, sit on my head. Something shit on my head.
No, alright. No, alright. Well, hey girl, you need to listen around here. The way that you walk says you're the type that gets struck there. Let's get to this buzz so we can get through these light years. Promise to always fit in your dreams and wipe away all your nightmares. I stay on your mind, you stay on your grind. If we can stick together, we can take over time. Or maybe we'll do some time for doing the crime. Probably not money right out of the bed. Just get your ass and take you a mind. Once upon a prime time. Don't worry, see nobody. Looking in the shit for love. Give me the
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
My background is French culinary, so we definitely have a European style to what we do. But I think also we're lucky with what we get around here as far as produce, so we're very spoiled with that kind of thing. Being able to get our vegetables delivered weekly, go out to the farm and pick up our cheese, things like that. So we're very influenced by our environment. Sourcing the way that we do seasonally is definitely something that keeps us creative. It keeps us doing something different every day, and especially now that we've started opening for dinner, it's really kind of going out there and meeting the guy at the dairy farm, meeting the guy that grows our cauliflower. Those are the kind of things that I think make it exceptional.
Let's give a hand. We're back. Flo.Wav. Wow. Wow.
Good job.
That was some. This man is a percussionist, and you guys were.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you.
You guys were impressing.
That was
him.
great.
Yes, yes. I'm here with Michael Thomas. Let's give him a hand. From the West African Drum Circle.
That's one of my organizations.
Yes, one
Yeah,
of many.
one, yes.
And today you
Projects.
got you were at the Soda Awards, weren't
Yeah,
you?
it's sponsored by the St. John's Cultural Council,
Right.
which is a local arts and musicians sponsorship, so to say. And I run two organizations. One, which you talked about, West African Drum Circles, is a community-based event that actually is based around rhythm and dance. It's a community drum circle.
Right.
In reference to St. John's Cultural Council, both of my organizations were awarded SOTA grants, funding for the events.
You know, people sometimes don't get it that organizations are really strapped for cash. For things to happen, you need money. That's why we are a capitalist society, and we don't have a great leader. We say, great leader, we love you. Okay, we can. It's very different. So now you're from originally, you were born where?
Upstate. Oh, I was born in Brooklyn. I'm a Brooklyn boy.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Flatbush, Brooklyn.
But you grew up upstate New York?
Yes, little town called Monroe in Orange County. It's outside of West Point, Orange County.
Oh, wow.
Monroe.
Near West
Wancherville High School, 1979.
Oh, nice warm weather up there, yes. And,
No, we all, with 7 brothers and sisters.
7 brothers and sisters.
Yeah, God bless my mom and dad.
And now, when you look at your childhood, would you say you had a good childhood?
Truly blessed.
Really?
Honestly, yes.
What made it special? What made it special?
Somehow, my parents paid attention to each and every one of our needs. I kind of was the black sheep musician. My other brothers and sisters were into motorcycles, carpentry, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I gravitated, I felt I was always going to hurt myself. Kill myself on a motorcycle or going on work sites with my dad, he was in construction, or hurt myself with a hammer. So I gravitated towards music and percussion, drums.
Was that your first?
Yes, 7 years old.
Wow.
3rd or 4th grade, my first drum solo in 6th grade, the Big Rock.
Wow.
I still have the recording.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so how did your life progress with drums?
Lordy, so much. I'm going to try to scoot through this real quick. Grew up in upstate New York, got a scholarship to Berkeley. That's Berkeley College of Music, not California. Went there early. I was 17, just got 18. Went for my associates, felt totally disorientated, need to get back to New York. So got a scholarship to Long Island University, LIUCW Post, and studied there for almost 5 years. I almost went into my master's and somehow met this band which was into rockabilly. And we're in the 80s now, remember? Brian Setzer and the Stray Cats?
Yes.
Well, I actually
them.
was in a warm-up band with them.
Wow.
Yeah, the name of the band was actually called Squeaky Clean. We went on to Star Search semifinal.
So let's go back to this. So now you come out of Long Island. After 5 years, you're with this Stray Cats warm-up band. And from there you go to?
Let me think for a minute here. Then I actually, it became a job. I actually met my wife, God rest her soul. I lost my wife.
Oh, wow.
Early 35 years old, 2 children.
That's young
anyway,
to be a widow.
But my wife was on the road with me at that time.
Okay.
And I had my first child. And traveling on the road with the child.
Lord.
Yeah, I had to do the responsible thing. And I got into a field that I felt was the closest thing to loving drumming, percussion, music, which was horticulture and design. Listen.
Yeah, I've seen those tomato plants really beating the drums.
No. I took it to a niche. And I created a company called Waterfall Creations. We designed water features.
Oh.
It was a very specialized field. I ended up being licensed through the DEC to classes in. I ended up being an award-winning designer in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
I designed for Oprah Winfrey, all the embassies in D.C.
Oh, wow.
That was my moneymaker. That saved me when I lost Denise and the children.
Oh,
but I was
wow.
miserable. It was all about money.
Yes.
I wasn't doing what God put me on this earth to do.
Okay. All right.
Money, sure. The kids are healthy, school, everything, and thank goodness again for my parents and family.
Right.
They helped out with the kids. But then I was into marching. On the back burner, I was still performing with local. Shoot, in Virginia, there's loads. I played with the Alexandria Royal Pipe and Drum. Listen to this name. Sheriff's Fairfax County Coalition Pipe and Drum Band. That's all on one T-shirt, yeah. Then I played with the Redskins in D.C.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I auditioned for the Washington Redskins. See my size? You could pin me at 22-member drum line. I was the little white guy.
It'd go like this.
Yeah, the little white guy. Let me tell you. That was an honor. That was an honor. That's an accolade. That's an accolade in my.
How long did you stay with the
5 years.
Wow.
I had a back injury at the end due to a misdiagnosis.
But when you're a drummer for the Redskins, you're like a star.
Oh, you're a celebrity. In D.C., yes. Oh, I signed autographs. It's awesome. Oh, yeah, you come here in Florida, they're like, so? In D.C., it's something. Yeah, no, really, yeah.
Wow.
The NFL, it's Redskins in the NFL, that fan base is crazy.
So now,
I had my own locker room and stuff, and
Wow.
they treated you like gold. It was amazing.
So 5 years there, and then you had an injury?
Yes, I had a back injury, unfortunately, which I almost got crippled, had to make some major life changes, and woke up one day and said, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of Virginia, and I did a little bit of research and landed here in St. Augustine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was there a culture shock in any way?
No, not at all.
All right. And
Not at all. This, I knew right away. This was
Really?
home.
Wow.
I knew right away.
It's in your bones.
The arts. Well, the crazy thing is, I was here 15 or 17 years ago, hired by a guy that owns a bunch of laundromats to design a waterfall. He hired me to do 2 or 3 houses on the beach, and to this day, I was trying to find them. They're somewhere on 12th Street.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I put little brass plaques on. Anyway,
Oh.
I don't do that anymore. I'm a
Okay,
drummer
okay.
on the beach.
So
That's
I
it.
wonder if those things are still there. and
Well,
still
there's
working.
some up in Luray Caverns. I mean, I've designed huge, giant, 2-story stuff that is
Wow.
permanent structures.
So
Yeah.
now, you're not doing drums when you come here?
I am a drummer on the beach. That was my rule.
Okay.
My rule when I came to St. Augustine is I was put on this earth to be a musician, and that is all I'm going to do. Yes, I have 2 tomato plants in my house, but that's it. That's it. That's it. And if someone asks me a question about agronomics or chromosomes or this and that, I forget.
Okay.
I'm old and I forget all that stuff.
Leave me alone.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a musician.
yes.
So now you started this whole West Drum Circle.
That was a happy accident, honestly. When I moved here with my daughter, Rachel, God bless her, I have my first grandson, Jackson, I have to mention because he graduated today.
Oh,
Yes!
wow.
Family is really important to me. It really is. Anyway,
funny.
I just got a picture of him. So in reference to your question, I had moved Another rule was if you're going to live on the beach in St. Augustine, you got to live on the beach. So I found a little beach house on the beach across the street from St. Anastasia Catholic Church.
Okay.
And I went there one day and sat in a fountain and found my wife.
Huh.
I know that sounds whatever, but something happened.
Wow.
And I sat there, and to this day, I actually go there. I perform at the Mass at St. Anastasia every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. They now are, St. Anastasia Catholic Church has been a godsend. They, the music director's on my board of directors of Old City Drum Corps.
Oh, wow.
I just did a wedding on Saturday there.
So
back to your
spirituality
question.
has come into your life?
Oh, big time, yeah,
Really?
big time. I don't consider myself
Because you said to me once that when you were younger, ego was a problem.
Yes.
You know? You had so many great offers and you went, no, I'm too good for
It
you.
wasn't just that, it was a learning disability. As a young musician, you would go out and see another musician, and if they happened to be better than you would ignore it. That's bad. That's bad.
Wow.
And all of that has changed. Me being 56 now, I try to learn every day from something from
God
someone.
bless you.
That cat behind the kit was great.
And so now, what's the goal of the West Drum?
West
Drum
African
Cir-
Drum Circles, the goal is community unity. It's community unity. That's it. The drums are just a tool.
So how
It's all
long
about
have you been
getting
doing this
together.
organization now?
7 years, and now it's 500 members.
500 members.
Listen, all it started with was me bringing drums to the beach and wanting to jam. That's all it started at. And then it just, I couldn't help myself. I market stuff. I couldn't help it.
Right.
We're now on 67 websites on Google.
Wow,
Yeah.
67
We're sponsored by the St. John's Cultural Council. The St. Augustine Beach Civic Association has been a godsend. And I have to mention Miss Sydney from the St. Johns County Administrative Beach Services. She has done us a huge favor.
Really?
I cannot say whatever this or that, but she has saved us, and God bless you. Thank you so much. Our free, family-friendly events will continue. They're held every third Thursday of the month. They're at the St. Augustine Beach Pier.
I was going to ask you, when is the next one?
June 20th, which is the third Thursday. June
Okay.
20th. There's up to 220 drummers and dancers at each event.
Wow.
We have a facilitator. What I do is, see, this drum circle is different than other drum circles in the essence that we have real drummers come.
Okay.
A regular drum circle, you guys know what I'm talking about when I say a regular drum circle. This is not. We actually make it a point to have at least a dozen regular percussionists that read, write, teach, whatever, that are intertwined in between these other newbies that come in or people who don't play. Plus the first 40 minutes or 20 minutes of the event, we actually have a professional drum circle facilitator try to teach something to any of these people. And there's this different genre of drumming each event, Afro-Cuban, West African, blah, blah, blah,
great.
Brazilian.
That's great.
There's belly dancers, there's fire spinners. It's a 2-hour event that goes like that. It's
Right.
free.
Now, are you on Facebook? Can we find you on Facebook?
It's Facebook, West African Drum Circles.
And a website?
No, not necessary.
Okay,
No,
so on
can't.
Facebook,
It's enough for
well,
me.
a lot of people,
Yep.
Facebook is more
There's
than
actually 2 Facebook pages. One is for members because we have a free rental program. Once you become a member after a year, we have 2 truckloads worth of equipment that's taken to each event for use for the community and the public. It's a
All right.
lot of equipment.
Right.
But anyway, sometime in the beginning of the season, I was saying, I've got all this equipment that's in storage for the whole month.
Wow.
Do something with this stuff.
Right.
So you have a license or some kind of ID, copy of it, here's a drum for a month.
Wow.
But I matched it with a mentor program.
Okay.
So
Great.
if there's an advanced drummer,
learn.
match them up with whatever, and they can study on the side, right. And that's working well.
Well, I love the whole idea that it's all unity.
It is, but
and-
it's not my dream job.
Yeah.
But it's something that I do love.
That's it.
It's a turnkey operation now. It's kind of running itself. There's actually an ensemble that was going on with me sitting here at the awards ceremony at
That's
St. John's
great.
Cultural Council.
That's great.
And listen, this isn't me. This is the community.
Right.
If I didn't have these people and all this, it would just be me with a truckload of drums,
Right.
which is nothing.
But that's why I love you, and that's why you were here, and I'm so glad you came. And I hope you support and go to these events. Third Thursday?
Third Thursday of the month.
What
yeah.
time?
Yeah. 7 o'clock is usually 7 to 9:30.
7 to 9:30 at the
Yeah.
pier.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Old
much,
City Drink.
Michael. Thank you so much.
God bless.
Stay,
Thank you.
stay right there. Sit. We'll be back after these messages with our next guest. That's yours to keep, my brother.
Cheers, thanks.
Yo, Garrett. I'm the owner of Garrett Brothers. My rule of thumb is I don't take anything in this store that I wouldn't have in my own home. We look for unique pieces, things you can't find anywhere around St. Augustine, and we pride ourselves on that. We have more than furniture. We have 1967 Vespa. We have anything that you can think of that would be fun and exciting. You're going to find it here. Sculptures, art pieces. We have a wonderful selection of art. I hear it's like a museum. That's the most common comment that I hear. Love for you to come and see me here, and we'll make you happy.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with Sandra Parks. Sandra Parks, I thank you so much for being here.
It's a joy. Thank you.
And you know, I wanted to bring you to the show because every time the times I've seen you is always that connection between you and Stetson Kennedy. But I know you have your own glorious life in the empire. And so that's why I wanted to bring you here, because you're an author of over 40 books and you have such a impact in this community for a very long, long time. So tell us, where you're from here, from St. Augustine.
I am from St. Augustine.
And as a little girl, you grew up in this town?
I grew up at 18 St. George Street. Now, for local folks, that's next to the oldest schoolhouse. I grew up 12 feet from the mill top.
Oh, wow.
Which I can tell you, during World War II, it was even rowdier than it is today. And we didn't even have a noise ordinance then.
Oh, wow.
But
wow.
when I played Princess of the Castle, I had a real castle.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right across the street.
The Castillo de San Marcos.
Right.
So when my boy cousins would come and visit, we would go play war on the fort green. And occasionally I'd get in trouble. My boy cousins could trick me into doing the stupidest things. My father's best friend was Albert Manussi, who was the director of the Castillo at the time. Well, you know, we knew what the rules were. And Albert and the staff over there, as long as we didn't come into the fort, you know, we could play around. So one afternoon, my cousins and I decided that we were going to walk around the ledge of the fort. Now, the ledge was about this wide. There's a coquina ledge all the way around the bottom and all the way around the other side of the moat.
Right.
And there's water in the moat. So my cousins and I decided, even though we know we really weren't supposed to be walking on that coquina ledge, that we would try to walk all the way around the fort before Mr. Manussi found us. So we started along the edge, and they let me go first. And
Ladies first, yes.
Absolutely. So I inched my way along, and always looking at where I was stepping because I didn't want to fall into the moat.
Right.
And I was about, maybe 100 feet in, and up from the top of the fort came a booming voice. Sandra Parks, you know you're not supposed to be doing that. If you don't get off that ledge, I'm going to call your father. Well, I looked around, and my boy cousins had never even gotten on the ledge.
They conned you.
Ladies
first, please go.
They
let you go, and they ran
Absolutely.
away. Just let you fall in
But
trouble.
it was the center of everything.
Right.
What people today don't realize is that the business district of St. Johns County was St. George Street, Cathedral Place, and King Street.
Wow. Compare
So-
that with today, huh?
Right. So we had 3 grocery stores on St. George Street.
Unbelievable.
The Sherwin-Williams Paint Company was on the corner of Treasury. What's now Prohibition Kitchen, that was the hardware store.
Wow.
My great uncle, who was a doctor at the East Coast Hospital, had one time owned the St. George Pharmacy.
Wow.
And that was originally where the Kilwin's ice cream place is now. And then it moved to the Bunnery.
Wow.
And so when the St. George Pharmacy closed, the day it closed, we who loved it went down and celebrated. And today we go to the Bunnery as still a
That's
habit we
funny.
don't break.
And also where the police station now is across from Carmelo's, that was the hospital, wasn't it? With the police station?
Yes. The Florida East Coast Hospital provided health care for anybody that worked on the FEC Railroad from Jacksonville to Miami.
Wow.
So in the audience tonight,
free
I've got
care.
cousins that, they could come with a pass
It
on
was
the
a
train.
more humane world in that sense, in that time.
It was, but it was segregated too.
Yeah, oh, that's
There
the...
were, there were black wards and white wards, and
was the
black
South.
folks came in one door and white folks came in another.
That's crazy.
And so it
I mean,
was.
for a northerner, for me, that's hard to... And also growing in the Caribbean, where we all see ourselves as, it's like I tell friends, I'm Hispanic. I was made in this part of the world because you conquistadors couldn't keep your pants up,
Right.
And so we're all a mix of Indian and black and conquistador. My DNA reflects that. I'm part native, part African, part European. So where do we go? We were like Dobermans. We were created, and so here we are, So that's interesting. Now you had told me once that a friend said something to you that kind of opened your eyes on many things.
I had never told that story to anybody until you came into my store. So the person I'm going to refer to herself doesn't know. But because I was a civil rights activist myself, and because my husband was a civil rights activist, people often ask, well, how is it that a little Southern girl from a very conservative Southern family, turned out to, be somebody whose activity would threaten her family?
Right.
And
status quo.
basically, it comes down. I've searched my soul to try to answer that question, and I think a part of it was that my father had jukeboxes and pinball machines,
All right.
and half of his businesses were in white bars and restaurants and social halls, and half of them were in black bars and
social
restaurants and social halls. So I got to go with him. So I would, when I was a kid,
How old were you, probably?
from 8 until about 12.
Oh, wow.
Daddy would take me around, so we would go out to Florida normal. So he would take the money out of the machines and change the records. We would go to the Iceberg on Bridge Street, which was the best ice cream shop in St. Augustine, where Dr. King and his colleagues
Right.
sat to
Yes.
plan what they were going to do. I would go to Butler Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Which had-
that was a black beach.
Yeah, if you saw the color purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's
Okay.
that's what that was like.
Wow.
And so I grew up understanding the black businesses, that these individuals were as creative and as efficacious and had good businesses, just like my family did. So that was a part of it. But still, my family had, if anything, a paternalistic view of race. They believed that the time was going to come. It just wasn't yet for them. It got to be yet for me, and we didn't talk about it.
Right.
When I came home for Easter in 2014 or 15, I can't remember which, there were men with guns at the city gates because we were under martial law. And I never will forget Michael Francis Patrick Sean O'Loughlin, who became the mayor of St. Johns County, convinced some guardsmen that this was the county commissioner's daughter, and they could let me down the street.
And what year was this?
64 or 65. I can't
Okay.
remember which was the year of the martial law.
Right.
But you know, I went into the house and my mother is watching TV and she's wringing her hands and she says, Holstead Manussi is on TV. All those people up north are going to think we're nothing but white trash down here. I said, Mama, there are men with guns at the city gates. Our people can't come to work until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. We have 1 or 2 things to worry about besides what people up north think of us.
Right, right.
But when I think about what made the change, we had a course that you couldn't offer today at Carolinas High School. It was called Problems in American Democracy. And one of those problems in 1958 was racial segregation.
Right.
I had a friend from Boston. Her name is Judy Marvin. And we were taking this course together. And we were going to her house to study. She lived in that beautiful house on Bridge Street with the fancy gate that shows up, you know, in every great picture of gates in St. Augustine. That's where Judy lived. And we got as far as on Cordova Street as the Ponce, the Flagler College. I don't know what Judy said to me to this day, but at that moment, trust in a friendship was more meaningful than what I heard around me from people who looked like me. And I think Stetson would agree with this, that personal relationships have more to do with changing people's minds for good than all the persuasion that the media or our schools, God bless them, or our families, God bless them too. But it is who you trust that really makes a difference in what you come to think.
That person you trust says something that makes sense. And for those who don't know who Stetson was, Stetson had infiltrated the Ku Klux Klan. Yes?
Yes, that was, before his Klan years. Stetson was the last surviving writer of the 6,000 writers nationally in what was called the Federal Writers Project.
Oh, wow.
So I loved it that you talked about the Clotilda, because Stetson's working partner in the 40s in rural Florida, in places like Perry and Cross Creek, a white man and an African-American woman named Zora Neale Hurston.
Yes, she's the one who wrote what's that?
Barracoon.
Oh,
Barracoon. And
yes.
it was her oral history.
Yes.
Stetson and Zora became among the pioneers of oral history.
It's an honor.
And her interviews with the last survivor of the Clotilda.
And Finding the Ship now corroborates this book.
Absolutely,
It's like,
absolutely.
you know, we're talking about the Ark. Here's the Ark.
But after, in the early 40s, the Federal Writers Project in Florida had published the slave narratives. Stetson was an editor on the slave narratives of Florida, which resulted in the last book he ever got done. Stetson had 2 books that had never been published before, past 90.
Wow.
So let's get with it, people. We're going to be here and doing this a long time. But
now when it comes to your writing, your books are mostly what, on education?
They are on cognitive development and critical thinking.
Critical thinking. And what do you think if I put all your books on a wall and I looked for a common denominator, what do you think I'd find as a repeating idea that comes through these books?
That if in public education we want to do it, we can teach students how to comprehend what they're learning more efficiently, how to draw critical judgments. You know, what are the questions you need to ask yourself and answer with evidence before you believe something?
Yes.
Dear heaven, do we need that in this country right now? Creative thinking. We are an engine of innovation in this country. Every child has the right to learn to be as creative as that child's capability and interest want to take him.
Yes.
We also can teach people how to make better founded decisions
Okay.
and how to solve problems. There are numerous models for it. Almost all the books that I write were written with my second husband, who is a physicist, Howard Black. And those have to do with cognitive development.
Okay.
Because I was a civil rights activist, my role was to desegregate public schools in Polk County, Lakeland, Florida.
Good
Very
Lord.
conservative.
Yes.
1964 and 65.
Was it hostile in the sense of death threats and things
Absolutely,
like
my
that?
children were threatened. But I was low grade compared to Stetson and, you know,
Oh, well, yeah.
14-year-old kids in St. Augustine went to jail for 6 months
Right,
for
right.
things that were much more dramatic than anything I
Yes.
had to do. But when we got desegregation, we still didn't have equity until every child goes to school with the confidence and competence in being able to learn what's put in front of them, until every child has the vocabulary. The greatest factor in poverty, the effect of poverty,
Yes.
is the lack of language.
Yes.
And we can do something about that if we get it young enough and do it seriously enough. And finally, there's so many children of poverty, children of color, and second language learners have never had a parent that would take them to the alligator farm and say, this is a reptile. And a reptile is this critter
Yes.
that's got cold blood and certain characteristics. So the middle class child hears that.
Yes.
The migrant kids that my colleagues work with out in Homestead, they don't get to hear that.
Yes.
And so until we have, we have the will, Dade County Public Schools, Miami,
Yes.
has used my book since 1984.
Wow.
Tens of thousands of kids
Yes.
have had a better shot
Yes.
because of what we put on paper.
Yes. Through school, I came from poor neighborhood, so my exposure to culture was through school. Through school, I found what Greek tragedy, what opera was, Peter and the Wolf, and
You bet.
just open all these doors, And they open a door and you go through it. But I thank you so much.
Great
I
pleasure.
think of you,
Thank you so much.
almost. I mean, you're what I call power in a human being.
Oh.
And I know you're still very active, and I know you don't slow down. Every time I say, where's Sandra? Oh, she's in Pittsburgh. Oh, she's up in Carolina. You're all around educating, and I guess it's bringing love to this world. We need people like you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll be back after these messages.
We opened up last year in January. Everything from the German farmer bread, the Schwarzwälder Flosserbrot. We have Jewish roots as well on my mother's side. So we do challah every Friday. That's available.
All right, everybody, we're here with Jorge Peña. Everybody. Jorge Peña was one of our guests in our first season. That's right. We talked about his life and how he came to play that instrument. But I opened a little slot for him because next month, in June, we have the St. Augustine Music Festival. For those of you who don't know, it is, I call it the Festival of Festivals when it comes to classical music. Tell us a little more about that. What are the dates? Do you know the dates?
Yes, this year we're starting on the 20th. It's always the same, it's the last 2 weekends of June. This year it falls on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, which is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it repeats likewise in the following week, which starts 27, 28, 29th. Now, all of the dates are, they're very unique. This year, particularly, I designed it in a way that is very intimate. It's not going to be one of the flashy kind of festivals, but it's a little bit more. All the pieces are a little bit more designed to be a little bit more simple, to bring you in a little bit more, to almost force you to listen in. I'm bringing some nice repertoire, some of the pieces that I've been thinking about bringing for a long time. And it's just sometimes you just have to wait for the right timing, and I think that this was the right one.
And what year is this? Year 10, 12?
The 13th year.
The 13th year this festival is going on.
Yeah, thank you.
And it happens, where does the festival happen?
We always perform at the Cathedral Basilica of St. Augustine.
The acoustics are brutal.
Yeah,
They're beautiful.
It's a beautiful place, and I don't think we can find another place like that. You come in, obviously the acoustics are great, but the beauty of the actual place, it kind of sets the mood for the whole for every performance.
Yes.
Yes. People come in and you can almost feel how the people. They react, they just prepare themselves really well, and you could hear a pin drop there.
Yes, you could hear the breathing of some people.
Yeah.
And now, how much does it cost to go to this festival?
Well, that's the beauty of it. We have managed to have this festival year after year free of charge.
Free of charge. And let me tell you, it's not. People show up 2 hours. Hour and a half, the line goes around the block to try to get in. And then it's crazy because they close the doors of the basilica like the movies of Noah's Ark. People clinging, let me in, let me in. It's just, if you're on the outside, it's quite a dramatic thing when that door closes and that last person doesn't make it and all the others go boom. So it's packed every night. It'd be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the next weekend it's again Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The caliber of people they bring are international. My favorite was the gentleman you guys brought who played the cello and did Piazzolla.
Oh, that's right.
I can't remember his name.
Andres Diaz.
Oh,
fantastic,
Lord.
fantastic. Yeah.
I just melted. My hair, my arms kept, and I was shooting with the camera, and it's hard when you're behind a camera to shoot when you're not behind the camera. You're getting dragged into the music and the emotion of it. And so I just couldn't talk more about this festival. Now, is there a website to?
Yeah, very simple. St. Augustine Music Festival.org.
And you'll know the artists, the times, the days,
schedules, everything is there.
The whole protocol, how
right.
it goes down. What was that?
The piano guy.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to see the stuff you see there that it's free. That is the part that really hits you. Could anything else you want to say about this festival?
Well, there's so much to say. There's a lot of wealth of music. With the classical when it comes to classical music, wealth coming from different eras in time, and obviously we have geniuses writing this kind of music that has survived this long, and it's for a reason. We strive to bring the best quality, for everybody. So, it's designed in a way that we give our product away with the idea that people realize, and people do, have been realizing that, if we want to continue having something like this in St. Augustine, it's up to you. I mean, it's literally like that, Nowadays, a lot of, the economy is doing well, and sometimes people forget that they probably they think that just because everything is going well, these are small organizations are doing well. No, we depend strictly from donations, and that's the beauty of it. It really opens the door to somebody or family who can maybe not afford to come to and be exposed to something like this. I am a big believer that this kind of music really can change your life. It's really powerful.
It is.
It's
and your job is you're a car mechanic when you're not.
I'm a little bit of everything.
What do you do?
I play in the Jacksonville Symphony.
Okay.
I've been there for over 22 years, actually, to be exact.
And your wife is an
my
incredible
wife is a
cellist.
That's right.
And your daughter also?
My daughter. And actually, my daughter, we've been playing more and more together as a trio, Peña trio. As a matter of fact, we have two different programs coming up with the trio in Jacksonville. Actually, they happen to be free. One at the St. John's Cathedral in Jacksonville, and the other one is at the Friday Musical.
Okay.
Two different programs, very, very unique and beautiful programs. It just happened to be right before, and Gabby, my daughter, she's going to be leaving after the festival. She got a
scholarship?
No, it's what an internship type of to go play with the Los Angeles Philharmonic.
Wow.
So she's gonna be there for like about 3 years. I'm still gonna like reel her in and for the summer and that's what happens. She has a beautiful caliber and she's making her own career.
Well, she lives with inspiration A and B. How can you? Could you tease us with your viola?
Sure.
Oh, please.
I thought I would play something for you. Yeah, so I thought that I would perform, obviously something solo. This is a piece that was written for cello, but this is basically a miniature cello. It's a viola, and this is from Johann Sebastian Bach's Second Suite, the Prelude. I consider this piece to be like, it's like the soundtrack of our lives. I encourage you to close your eyes, and it will speak differently to each one of you. I hope you enjoy.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much.
Oh,
brother.
my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Bravo, bravo. Bravísimo. Thank you.
I
man.
appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you.
And we'll be back. We'll be back.
Working as an associate, we can help you with many things. Number one is income for life throughout your retirement, which is very important. Number two would be Medicare choices, which are very confusing. Number three is a legacy for your loved ones. And finally, keeping you independent throughout retirement. My name is Tuli Martinez. Call this number. Y hablamos español.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with Flo.Wav. We have Dylan here sitting close to me and Connor over there in the green shirt. And you guys were great. I mean, that opening song really got you going, and the percussion was awesome and all that. So let's go. Your full name is?
Connor Joseph Bertha, the first.
Bertha.
Bertha, yes,
Oh,
like the
wow.
lunch lady.
That's what is that? That is Italian.
Hungarian, actually.
Oh, Hungarian.
It's just
But
white.
I'm adopted.
Oh, okay. And how about you, Dylan? Your full name?
Dylan Teopara. I am half Mexican.
Oh, okay.
German, Irish, Polish.
All right.
That
You're
fills
gumbo,
up-
baby. You're gumbo.
fills up the
You're
rest of the
gumbo.
50%.
We'll throw some sausage and some pork
Yeah,
in there. and beef.
orale.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, orale. Now, how long have you guys been playing together as a band?
Three years now?
Since January 1st,
Yeah, January.
2017.
Oh, wow. You got
To
it
be
down.
exact.
You sound like a Vietnam veteran.
My grandfather
3
was.
days, 4 days before I go home.
He was in the
Yes.
Navy. He got
Yes.
that. He
Yeah.
got the voice in the Navy.
Uh-huh.
They gave
Now,
it to
if
him.
I had to give your music a genre, what would I give it?
What do you like to call it?
What do you call it?
John.
Alternative hip hop.
Okay.
That's not what he calls it. Every time I'm like, what
Genre fluid.
That's what he.
Genre
that's
fluid.
his. Genre fluid.
I love it. Genre fluid. I'm going to keep that in mind.
Whatever
I'm not
that means.
using some. Well, that is a liberal genre fluid politics.
Exactly.
I like your
Impress
touch.
somebody with that.
I like it.
So you guys have been. Now you guys you live out in Flagler, yes?
Yes.
But you're always gigging out here.
Oh yeah.
Sarbez is where
Sarbez
I
is the
saw you
home.
guys last time. He's Ryan Kunch is amazing.
Sick.
He's
Ryan
amazing.
is
Let's give
amazing.
Ryan Kunch a hand.
Shout out Ryan.
That
Shout
is
out
an
Ryan.
advocate for musicians. I try to get him on the show. He's so shy. He goes, well, I don't know if I want to be
Yeah.
on the show.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah,
Right.
but he is Mr. Nice. If you could create a U.S. stamp, it said Mr. Nice, it'd be his face on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now the instrument you play is what, Dylan?
We actually switch up when we play on stage. We kind of move around a little bit. So I'll play a little bit of drums, and I might go to the guitar.
Oh, wow.
Or I might do some keys or whatever. And same with him. He plays a little bit of drums. He'll play bass, and guitar.
Now you do vocals. Do you do vocals sometimes
Yeah,
too?
we
'Cause
both.
I saw a video where you were doing vocals with him, both of you.
Right. So I usually sound like the singer, he's like the rapper, but we both dabble in each other's area a little bit. I'm like, okay, you can come into my lane a little bit, not too much. Don't show off too much, because then you make me look bad. But you know, we try to blend it together well, so we kind of even each other out.
All right, but what I noticed too is that when you guys set up, when you test, you're so intense, you're so professional.
Yeah,
that's why
we're very picky.
And that's why I think you guys will go a long way, because you
appreciate that.
Now these songs are your own songs.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Everything you do is
everything you hear is basically me and Connor from a blank canvas, and we'll come up with cool sounds. You know, sometimes we'll use trash bags and light switches and out of this world things that you wouldn't usually use in recording.
Viral
it's like,
YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, we just kind of get as creative as we can with it.
So when you write a song, you start it together, or do sometimes?
It's always different. You know, there's certain songs, like, for example, the first song you heard, he basically wrote most of the whole core of that song, and then we went in there and just put the pieces together. And then the second song that we'll play, I basically wrote that, came to him with it. He made a rap onto it and added this and that onto it.
It's amazing.
And then other songs we'll sit there and like jam something out, and we're like, let's record that right now.
Now, when you guys are both young, but when you were growing up, you're still growing up, but when you were younger, what were you listening to?
Pop punk.
Pop punk, like any groups come into your head?
Newfound Glory, A Day to Remember, and then I got a little bit harder stuff like Under Oath, Devil Wears Prada, a little bit metal.
Yes, I was going to say they're in the metal genre already.
But I really liked, actually my first favorite artist was Aaron Carter.
Aaron Carter.
He's fire.
You can laugh.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm trying to think what he played.
He was just like a 13-year-old pop singer.
Okay, and how about
you?
you?
I was all over the place. Like, one of my favorites was Linkin Park. I was always listening to Linkin Park, like kind of Heavier Bullet for My Valentine. Same thing, Devil Wears Prada, Day to Remember, stuff like that. And then I kind of started to swerve over, and I got into the pop, started listening to like Justin Timberlake and like a little bit different, and then as we started getting along,
a whole new. I remember Chris Rock.
You're watching this, Timberlake.
Yeah. I remember Chris Rock once coming to a show and telling Jay Leno that the world was coming to an end, and Jay Leno said, "Well, why you say it?" "Because I see the signs." And he said, "Well, what are the signs?" And he says, "Well, the top golfer is black and the top rapper is white," which was Tiger Woods and Eminem, And of course, everyone started laughing. So I guess the world is coming to an end. Right. Top rapper is white and the top golfer is black. And now the top golfer is again black, So that's awesome. Now, how young do you think you were when you decided that maybe being a musician was what you wanted to do?
I can't even remember.
Really? I've always played music, and I've always loved it. It was always like a passion of mine, but I never really thought it was possible to have a career from it. But then I changed my mind.
Okay.
I got out of the Navy, and I was like, yo, I can actually do this. If I put my mind to it, I can do it.
Yes, I have that thought that if you think it, you can make it happen.
Fire.
And it's this is how this show came in. I thought about it, and everyone said, "Well, have you ever done a Tonight Show?" I've seen them since the age of 3.
Right.
I mean, it's all in my subconscious. Just give me the set, and I think I can pull it off.
You're killing it.
By the way, you're doing a great job, everybody. Jorge.
Shout out Jorge. Shout out Garrett Bros.
Yeah. All you get is the cups, There's nothing else.
I didn't even know we were getting cups. That's sick, dude.
Yeah.
Look at these.
So it's so funny. We had Frosty Myers, and he suddenly says in the middle of the interview, "Can I have the cup?" Because David Letterman gave me the cup. Said, you can have the cup, man. Now you grew up. Where did you grow up?
Flagler Beach.
Oh, so you're a Florida kid.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my God, he has a tattoo of the state of Florida.
Yep.
So you love this state. And you grew up where?
I actually grew up in Florida, but I was born in Illinois.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
moved here when I was like 2 years old.
And
I went back to visit and see family, but
you
Florida,
always go back to
Florida's
visit
my home.
family.
Yeah.
But wow, so you guys are.
Florida
So
boys.
what do you see for the future for both of you guys, for your band? Your band is called Flo.Wav.
Flo.Wav.
I saw
One
that
word.
dot, and I wasn't sure.
Flo.Wav. Yeah.
Now, where did that name come from? Why? What does it mean?
So when you bounce basically a file, like when you make music and you bounce it down, the highest quality file was at the time .wav, and so we produce, in our eyes, high quality. You know what I mean? We're not dropping demos.
Right.
We're mixing and putting our heart and soul into this. So that .wav really means the highest quality that we can think of. At the same time, it's also a reference to music. Wow. We love music. And flow.
And wavy music, wave.
Yeah, of course. It's just a billion things.
Young musicians like yourself always inspire me because yes, I see so many youth that I don't know where they're going, and then you see people who have a passion and they're moving in a very having a sense of where they're going. Right. So here's my I guess our last question would be, where do you want to take this Flo.Wav thing you're doing?
I personally want to travel. I want to see the world. There's so much world to see, and I love playing music. And
are you playing outside of Florida?
No, actually, we just planned a Florida tour. We're trying to be strategic about everything. So we're trying to make our way out. So we planned a Florida tour so we could make our way around.
Don't chew more than you can bite.
Establish a core fan base.
And that's why, like you said, you see when we're so serious over there is because we're like two of the most like anal picky dudes when it comes like everything. Like we're our own worst critics too. We're like, should we release this? Like, no, this sucks. Like, let's not. Well, and then we drop it and people are like, we love it. Like,
right.
We're like,
well, no,
really?
I saw when
like,
you guys came in, you were struggling. Should the drums be here? Should
oh yeah,
be there?
our whole
Are
everything
we facing
we do
over there? You were so meticulous, and I'm like, dude, you're just gonna play to an audience.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird.
But it matters.
We're very
yeah. But no, this is great. I'd rather have people be meticulous than be sloppy anytime.
Thank you.
Of course, right, of course.
So now, you hope then to tour eventually. Can people buy your music?
Yes.
Yeah, you can actually download it for free right now.
Really?
Flowwavemusic.com. That's FLOWAV music. You know how to spell that. .com.
Yeah.
Because I saw. He's the salesman here.
He kills it. Shout out Dylan, bro.
But I saw your videos and they were so professional.
Thank you.
They were just. I saw one that was in black and white. Then I saw another one, and there's all these images that are very powerful, you know.
Thank you.
Funny story, dude. The black and white one we shot in my backyard in like this little room. My buddy brought over his camera.
Yes.
And the night before we were like, we gotta release something on New Year's. Like that was we were like announcing like our whole Flo.Wav thing. So like the night before New Year's, we were sitting there with a laptop on iMovie, literally going back and forth, like, oh no, do that, like just sitting there editing it. Boom, we dropped it.
It is extremely professional. For someone who's always behind the camera, I was very impressed. And you had that guy with all the writing, you know.
Yeah.
He's playing with us.
Another writing. It was a
That's
love
Marcus.
song. It's a heartbreak
The guy with the
song.
writing on his face.
Yes,
Yeah, he was playing with us.
Plays piano, keys.
Shout out
DJ Marcus.
Yeah, that was you.
Music, what?
Really.
Hey, shout out Nick and shout out Juan as well. They're playing with us.
Yeah,
Super dope guys.
They attacked you with a Sharpie. Yes. And you
the other
survived.
videos was a guy, Jason Blankenship, and he's from St. Augustine. It's called Bad Cloud Media. He does a lot of stuff with Sarbes and
yes,
stuff.
that was also very
Shout out to Jason Blankenship.
Shout to him.
Check him out if you guys need video work.
So, would you guys play something for us?
We sure will.
Oh, I'll love to. Thank you.
All right. When we come back, Flo.Wav.
At St. Augustine Distillery, we're part of a new generation of American craft distillers. Family owned and operated, we are committed to making the best possible spirits using local agriculture. Our distillers make everything by hand, from mashing and blending to distilling and tasting each and every batch. We distill and bottle everything we sell, making sure that the spirits are just right before barreling and aging. Bottled by real people, we love showing our guests not only what we do, but why we do it. We're passionate about educating our guests to not only what goes into each bottle, but how to make the best possible cocktails. We love St. Augustine, and thanks to your purchases, we're able to give back to the community and help local organizations each and every day.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
St. Augustine Distillery, handmade with pride in the nation's oldest city.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Once again, we're Flo.Wav. We're from Flagler Beach. Check us out, FlowWavemusic.com. And we're about to play some surf rock. with some rap. Hit that DJ quiz.
Yeah. 6 a.m. wake up, wanna swim with a fish in there. Waist walking out, I've been missing there. Laid up with them, booty up, trying to back for this. Drink again, you can pump in my hand in my kitchen while I'm fixing, ambition on a mission. To get shagged, fresh new skin with a fresh new wax. To the back of the gym, I'll back that ass to the passenger seat where it looks like last week. Dash to the beach guys, ash in the stuff up my V-shot. Kinda there, they can do a peak guys on the border street lights. Party ways in like a peace sign, he's right, peace sign. But God is hell fine, turn around, this is out of stuff. I'm dodging, hell fine, cut back. Harder than telling the one that she gets back. Harder than the way that I spit all the jack in the wave when it breaks. You ain't never coming back. The feeling you get the second you know this is the best way to your life and the truth flows. Don't get head looking for a light as the truth flows in. Split in the ocean like Moses. Go, go, got slow motion, so goes in. We live for these moments, memories stored in adrenaline loaded. With the shit, no one wills like home. This is how it's gonna drop in. Check drop goes and a little bit of the rest of the back. Combo drop in, I'm talking like myself, I'm talking and I'm watching my ear. Thank you guys so much. Please check us out. Follow us on Instagram.
I want to thank everybody. This was our last show for the season. But we'll plan a. Hey, I need a band like that. And every time I do it, that's right. So I don't know when there's a fourth season. I never know when there's another season. But you know, you've given us so much love in these 13 shows. And I get all mushy about it. The food, the drink, everything has been just love from the community. I hope I was able to give you some love. And
so once again, y'all, Flo.Wav, music.com. If you want to check it out, we got some free music available. We got a Florida tour coming up in July. We also are curating our third year music festival that we do in Palm Coast, Florida. It's called Flo.Wav Music and Arts Festival. You can also see all the information about that on the website. We're going to play a song we played earlier called Breathe Easy. We have a music video out now if you want to check that out on YouTube. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are lovely. Thank you, Jorge. Thank you, tonight's show. Thank you to everybody. Hope you guys have a good night.
Shout out Garrett Bros. The company. Now that we played this, you guys should know the words, right?
The way the sun shine through your sundress. Maybe you're the only one that ain't no contest. Remember with the sun through my window. I was a step my mama using the wind slow. I've been addicted to your loving from the get-go. Way before I said gas like a sicko. Way before the baby shot, and maybe we can put a toes in the center. It's Florida on the weekend. No way.